This is BEXIT, the Rock Diary, and I think it's the fourth part tonight. It's the part of the Enlightenment, and as I've already told you, the dark past. It didn't even feel so dark most of the time. So the really dark times I've just been talking about the last time that I've made this video last week. So I think we were around the time where I was totally stuck in my life. Oh, hi. Oh yeah, if you're watching, you can say hi. I like some interaction. Yeah. um, yeah. So I was at the worst point. I was struggling, was in totally deep depressions, a relationship that made me go crazy. Oh, okay, French, Paulo. Yeah, thank you. I think I can read a little French. Yeah. So yeah, I was at this moment where I was totally stuck in this relationship. I couldn't get out of it. I was yeah, I have been taking drugs for a while, more often, more and more often. I was physically totally damaged. I was only 49 kilos or something like that. I'm 1 meter 70, so that's not really much. So I couldn't work anymore. I was just sick. I was ill. I wasn't feeling well, and I had a total breakdown where I was actually hysterically screaming to my ex-boyfriend while we were fighting again. And I thought I was going insane. I don't know. I never experienced anything like that. So at that point, I was really thinking I have to do something. And as I told you the last time, that this medium, her spirit guide, has been telling me about how bad it's gonna end up for me if I don't find this changing point in my life. So, oh hi Toby, hi Michelle, yeah. So at this point, yeah, I was just looking for any answer. So something that I knew of for a very long time. It's called the Free Spirit course. I knew this because my parents knew the trainer, Bruno Württemberger is his name. And I always knew of this, but I always thought, well, I'm feeling well, I'm celebrating my life. So what the fuck? Why should I do such a course? Why should I do something for myself when everything's fine? And there I was finally at the breaking point, which afterwards I'm pretty thankful of. That I said to my ex-boyfriend, hey, we have to do something. And I actually did this course to make him go so he would finally change and finally be the person I want him to be. But in the end, this course totally changed my life forever. So yeah, you must imagine, yeah, just going to such a course. It takes some decision of you if you want to change something. And I was just, I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't have suicidal thoughts, but I really didn't want to live anymore because I was just weak, just totally weak. And in this course, yeah, you can't imagine what happened there. Can you imagine what it feels like when you finally get to know yourself and you are it sounds really weird when you're not there, but when you do certain techniques and you learn how to communicate with yourself, yeah, I've reached a point that I loved myself so much, like I was my own child or something like that. Maybe this explains it the best way. So I just developed this huge respect for me and everything I've done wrong. It was okay, because it was like I could look at myself from the outside, like a loving mom looks at her baby. And from this point of view, you see what you've done to yourself. You see this unhealthy lifestyle that you've had before. You can see it all the men, the boyfriends that weren't good for you. I saw how it left an impression on Rebecca, and I just wanted the best for her so much that I've made so many decisions at this course, and yeah, not only decisions, but I got to know myself for the very first time, and I saw, just like a huge mirror was put up, I saw back at my life, and I saw that most of it was totally unreal. I was like a robot reacting to others. First of all, my parents, then school, then I wanted to be liked, and then I wanted this, I wanted that, I wanted others to like me and to be loved by people. But I've actually never taken any care of myself. I've treated myself like my worst enemy, actually. I was so strict, maybe some of you know this too. When you're so strict to yourself that you make plans, and when you don't stick to your plans, then you get really, like, we are pretty bad to ourselves. Our thinking tells us that we suck all the time. And yeah, all of this I found out, and for the first time I had some space to think about what I really want in my life. And yeah, once you have that, and once you kind of have seen why you are born, you know, most people are looking for answers their whole life, and it's not so difficult to find them. So when you finally found the yeah, your reason to live, then there's no letting go of it. So this was the nice thing. So my eyes were wide open. I came back from, and in the course, of course, you have this nice interaction, you know, with other people who also have certain, yeah, similar experiences like you and everything. Yeah, and then you come back home. And, you know, I think doing just, I mean, I'm not saying that some more normal people can't do 1 week course and change everything for the better. I'm not saying that, but if you've watched my last couple of videos, and you know how much shit I've piled up in the years, yeah, of course I had to be a little bit more patient to myself. But yeah, being patient is not really my my best my best ability. So I wasn't patient at all. So I made another yeah, mistake, you know. But I've never, since this first time, I've never lost this kind of love and trust to myself again. Never again. So this is the greatest gift ever. But yeah, I could have done things a little bit different, I must say, afterwards, because yeah, what was it? What I've seen, you know, I've felt everything, or a lot of things I've done wrong to other people. I felt at this course. I've seen a lot of things that weren't good for me or my body. I've felt what it feels like for animals to suffer, for example. People very often ask me, why did you become vegan? Well, this is this was actually the reason for it, because I could feel it. I could feel the consequences of all my behavior. And once you felt it, yeah, I mean, there should be a way to gradually stop your behavior. But for me, very often, with my black and white, totally yes, totally no, there's not, there's not so much space for me to gradually change my behavior. So when I came back home, the thing I did was stop all the drugs, stop all the drinking. I stopped smoking. I've done it all, you know, immediately. We ended the relationship. Yeah. Is there anything else? Wait a second, probably. Well, no, but I think it's more than enough, right? Yeah. So, yeah, coming back home like this. Oh yeah, and then there was one more thing. I think I called all the important people, where I found out about that I have been actually lying to them or pretending to be really, really nice while afterwards I think, oh my God, you know. And there were many of this. I was such an actor. My whole life, I was just acting along just to be liked. So I felt really bad and I wanted to tell the people what I really think of them. Can you imagine? This is not really, yeah, it's a little difficult topic. And when you're such a direct person like I am, like people thought, what the fuck? What's wrong with her? You know, she hates me. She must hate me. So yeah, I've done this with pretty much everyone I could remember at this point, that I was actually faking. I called old ex-boyfriends really, really long time ago and told them what I've done wrong in the relationship and said sorry for it. I tried to, you know, clean all my mess up, but I did it way too quick and way too fast. So it hit me really, really hard, because when once I was done with my whole, you know, hitting around me and everything, I got really, really, really sick. Yeah. And I've never been this sick in my whole life. Yeah. It must have been some kind of detox, of course. I mean, changing also, even only changing the food, it brings out all, yeah, it brings detox, right? Then the next thing is when, yeah, when you're stopping all this drinking, partying, smoking. So what I had a huge bronchitis, and I had my tonsils, what is it called? My tonsil infected, tonsillitis. Yeah. Hi. Yeah, so yeah, I was just really, really sick. And the next thing was that I was totally by myself, because friends, family, everyone was gone after I, you know, after I let them know what I really thought. Yeah, so this was the next really difficult time. But I must still say, while I was sick, I always had this in my heart, this really good feeling of finally doing something really good for myself. I knew this was going to be a tough time, really, really tough, but I knew that this was going to save my life, because, to be honest, the other life that I had before, it would have killed me within 10 years. So I think when I did this course, I was around 30. I think I always knew that I would not turn any older than 40. I saw myself already laying in the hospital, but I always thought, well, it's worth it, you know. Yeah, no, it wasn't worth it. This life, this old life, it wasn't real. So yeah, I was starting to turn sick. I went to the doctors. The doctors wanted to give me antibiotics, but, you know, the adventure in yourself and looking back, respect for people that can look back. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so I went to the doctors, and the doctors wanted to give me antibiotics, but I was, you know, I just discovered how harmful actually anything that is not nature is not really good for our body. I don't know if anyone realizes this. And when you're such a black and white person like me, like some people, they stop to eating meat, or they turn vegetarian, then they turn vegan, then they do this, then they do that. And I quit it all, you know. So when I went to the doctor, of course I told him, I'm not going to take your pills because I don't want to hurt my body. I'm going to do this by myself. So it's actually really interesting, because I've been ill very often in my life. I mean, of course, with this lifestyle, but I've always taken, when I was partying and my back hurt, you know, I was taking ibuprofen or paracetamol. I was just giving it to myself. And all this time I was just, I was just numbing my body to be able to, when I was sick and I had to go to work, of course I took a pill against the headache or whatever. And at this moment, it wasn't possible for me anymore. So this was the first time that I went through an illness without taking anything, any medication. And I didn't know what was developing out of a tonsillitis. Like, I was coughing blood. My doctor told me that that it's very dangerous for me not to take his pills. So I was by myself. So I was really afraid. and alone, and it was a pretty tough time. But inside, I knew everything was going to be alright. And I'm just checking the time. I think it's already time to stop again. Well, it's really nice to see that that some people are saying hi today. Yeah, that makes me happy. It doesn't feel like I'm talking to myself all the time. So yes, I would like to say thank you for watching. And next week, 8 o'clock, of course, I'm gonna tell the rest of my enlightenment story, because it was a new path that I was joining. And what else? Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, I sing a song for you. And don't forget, on the 6th of January to 9th of January, there's gonna be my workshop, what you can really do for the world. And if you watch me and you think, hey, what can she tell us? You know, she's only done weird stuff in her life. I learn from mistakes. I hope to change that now, yeah. But in the past, I've already learned from my mistakes. So, and I've done a lot of them. So I've got a lot of experience. And I think I can tell people how to act and do something good for the world in a good way. Not the way I've done it. I've done everything slightly, you know, too much, a little bit too much, and it was really hard, but it doesn't need to be that hard. So in my course, I'm going to explain this to you. And it's going to take place in this group. Yeah, and I think now I've said everything. So thank you very much for watching and being so active. I really enjoyed that this time. Mwah. Bye bye.